Well, Freddie, thank you very much. And I'll tell you what, Lauren, you have done a fantastic setup for today, at least this morning. It is absolutely gorgeous outside, and it's no more perfect than being in the middle of Lake Murray on a Monday morning, especially Memorial Day Monday morning. Lieutenant Ken Simmons here, South Carolina DNR. So, a few hours, you said thousands of boats are going to be out here this morning on these very waters.
Yes, sir.
That's a ton of boats out here, man. Holy moly. Let's talk a little bit about some basics of boating. So what kind of things do you actually need to have on a boat, you know, for requirement and then maybe for safety? If you're going to take your boat out, maybe just got one, maybe just bought one or whatever.
Well, first and foremost, each boat needs to have the correct number of PFD, personal flotation devices, for each person on the boat, and they got to be of the proper size.
Right.
You need to have an infant or child, depending on the size of the kid, up to an adult.
Sure.
Every boat is required to have a sound-producing device, a whistle or horn, fire extinguisher, as well as a throw cushion, a throwable device, a ring buoy or a square seat cushion.
Something you can toss, you have to pull in if somebody goes overboard, something like that. Okay.
Yes.
When you're talking about the PFDs that actually are legal, how do I know this one is one? If I get it at Walmart, how do I know this is the right one?
You look on the inside of it, it'll say U.S. Coast Guard approved.
Okay.
As long as it has that, it's good.
Now we got different kinds. I mean, this is not the old orange kind. You used to canoe at Camp Wyandoggonic in Maine. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, these are the inflatables. Some like this one, they have a pull cord. You can pull it. It'll open up. Or if you fall overboard, it'll automatically inflate.
So the water will automatically.
It'll make these inflate in case you get in an accident, knocked unconscious. It will keep you up and roll you over so that you are face up.
Right. These are really nice. A little
Very
more comfortable
nice,
than the big jackets. Those things are just kind of bulky anyway. Just as good though.
That's right.
So you've got to have. All right. So you've of course got to have your registration insurance card as well.
Registration.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, to drive a boat in South Carolina, driver's license, what do you need, or can a 12-year-old jump on and
Well,
drive?
you need to have a child, a kid, 12 and under, needs to take a boater safety course if they're going to operate a boat of over 15 horsepower.
Okay.
Otherwise...
What do you got? 225 in the back of this bad boy, this DNR bad boy, right?
That's right. So, but I have taken a boat and safety course. So.
I see. They were wondering once or twice.
That's
We see 20 years on the job.
That's right.
Gosh. All right, guys, that's kind of the list. The basics we need on a boat, of course. A whole heap of common sense would also be helpful.
Very much, yes.
You know, it's interesting. We also, you can kind of see behind us, believe it or not, guys, right behind us, that's actually where the dam is. The fog bank can roll in. We went into that fog bank a few minutes ago getting set up, and it's interesting how you can go from visibility to literally, I mean, it's pea soup. We couldn't see a boat in front of us until we were almost upon it, and that kind of talks about the dangers, too. And we're going to talk about some water safety stuff, actually being out and motoring around the water now that you've got yourself geared up on the boat, and we'll have a little fun. And if you get lost, look at this. It all looks the same, doesn't it? We're going to talk about trying to navigate your way back to wherever you got to come as well. It's live and local this morning in the middle of Lake Murray, and Lieutenant, man, I'm telling you, I hate my job. This is just awful. Freddie, back to you, sitting in the studio, and I'll be here on the lake, just hanging out. Well, Freddie, I got to tell you, it's a pretty difficult life this morning. I mean, you know, it's Monday, it's early. Of course, the sun is shining, blue skies in the middle of Lake Murray, so I'm not going to complain that much. We're talking about Boater Safety Day here, live and local on the middle of Lake Murray. We've been talking with Lieutenant Ken Simmons here with South Carolina DNR, talking about some of the things you have to have on your boat, you know, statutorily anyway, as far as what's legal and whatnot. But what happens when you're out here boating, enjoying your time with your family, and they put the blue lights on, they come up? And Ken, why do you guys do random safety checks?
Well, we want to make sure all the boats do have the safety equipment that is required. And the reason for that is everyone needs to have that equipment, so make sure that they get home safe. You never know when something is going to come up that you do need this stuff for. You're
also looking for DUIs and drugs, you
know,
standard law enforcement stuff.
That's
as well,
correct.
Right?
And normally we look for violations. We don't necessarily try to go out there and just stop every random boat that we see. Occasionally we do, but for the most part we are looking for some type of violation, and then that leads into other things. And while we're stopping and checking, person's demeanor and attitude, what they're doing may lead into
you become a policeman,
a BUI arrest from that point.
All right, so you decide you're going to stop a boat. You come up, you hit your blue lights. What's the etiquette the driver, the captain of that boat needs to be doing? What do they need to be doing as you ease up?
Normally we just have them put their boat in neutral, let us approach them.
Okay.
We'll pull alongside.
So they shouldn't try to approach, they just stop and sit and wait.
That's right. If they just put their boat in neutral, we'll pull alongside them, and then we'll just go through a series of checks. Okay, let's take a look. Daniel and Darren here are going to help us this morning. So kind enough to be rated by SCDNR. Let's see what. Go ahead, run. All right. Well, while we have you stopped here, if you don't mind, could I see your registration card and a couple wearable life jackets, since there's only 2 of y'all on the boat. And again, there has to be just 1 life jacket for each person on the boat, correct? That's correct. Okay. All right, sir. And while you're back there looking for that, need to see that fire extinguisher. and a throwable device. Very good. Great. All right, how about a sound producing device? So a whistle or horn. Perfect check. Thank you all very much. We appreciate it.
Just like that, and then once you get that done, you're on your way, and everybody else is back out
That's
and
it.
voting thing.
That's it.
Very good. It's real simple and easy. Again, the key things there, guys, have the right gear. But if you're approached by DNR or you know, any of the Marine patrols, you got Lexington County, Richland County out here as well. But just put your boat neutral, let them approach you, and go through the check, and everybody gets on their way safely and has a lot of fun.
That's it.
We get you out in the water, man. Sandy Beach. You got to do some diving, Darren. I know you're going to go diving. We're going to get out of Sandy Beach here and go out in the middle of the lake and talk about maybe how to find your way home if you're in the middle and don't know where in the heck you are, because that might happen to me. It won't happen to LT here, but it could happen to me, friend. If not, I'll just start doggy paddling back to the studio. How about that? Back to you guys. All right, guys, Freddie, thank you very much. And we're celebrating Memorial Day, as most folks, or a lot of folks anyway, will, out here in the middle of Lake Murray. It's going to be a gorgeous day. Lauren, thank you for the beautiful day you've set up, at least for the morning anyway. Lieutenant Ken Simmons from South Carolina DNR. And LT, we've talked about the required equipment you have to have on your boat, you know, obviously some safety stuff and what to do when you guys come up to do a safety check, random safety check or whatever. But what happens if you're out here and you're not around and you look around? Because I'll tell you that every shoreline looks exactly the same, unless you're like you, knows the lake. It's probably pretty easy to get disoriented out here.
It is. What we advise everyone to do is, first and foremost, have a float plan. Tell somebody where you're going and where you are launching your boat from. And you know, hopefully you would have familiarized yourself with the lake somewhat and know the cities as far as Lake Murray, the area around. You know, if you're out here at night, the lights of the city of Columbia will be lit up behind the dam. You would see the dam. There's certain landmarks like the dam, the city lights of Lexington and Chapin. Those will help tell where you are. There's also certain navigational lights that are out here on markers. Shoal Island has a green flashing light, and people can see those and call us and say, you know, this is what I'm looking at.
I don't know where I am, right?
Right.
We should actually look that way again. Go ahead and look that way one more time. It's a little bit bright for y'all, but believe it or not, the dam is right there. When I come out, I have to use the dam as kind of a reference point. I kind of know my way to Sandy Beach. I know how to get to Baum Island. I know where Liberty and the Lake is.
Yep.
So I often use a dam, but I mean, that's a good example. You come out here and there is no dam to see this morning. So certainly you were talking about a cell phone is a great thing.
Yeah, most people have a smartphone today,
right,
and they'll tell you, exactly where you are. But you know, a worst case scenario, if you can see the shoreline of Lake Murray, which you can from about anywhere, there's generally a house there.
Right.
Just head towards it. Most of the docks out here have addresses on the dock.
That is brilliant. Actually, just go find a house.
Go find a house. If they don't have a phone, or if you have your phone, if not, borrow their phone. Call 911, call DNR, tell us where you are. We'll get out here and help you out.
I guess a lot of folks probably, if you live in the lake, it's one of those hazards of owning a home in the lake that chances are someday a boater's going to be like, I am lost.
Yes.
Get me home safe. Of course, the biggest thing is not really to panic. You're out in the middle of the water, but it's not like you're not going to find yourself in England out here.
That's right.
Worst case, you end up in Chapin when you should be in Lexington, I suppose.
Yeah, we get calls all the time about it. So.
They don't know where I am. Well, that's it, guys. And of course, you can Google Earth too, a smartphone, or before you go out, you can also use Google Earth.
That's
correct.
correct.
Get a feel for where you can be. Because the coves, they really do. If you've ever been out here, the coves all look the same after a while. Kind of like when you're in an airplane, right, at 4,000 feet, it all looks green.
It's not like 10 or 15 years ago where you had to have a map.
Right.
The phones, everyone has those nowadays.
Just like that. Get disoriented. We're going to put links for you too at WACH.com for South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, some other great tips on boating, and even some boating links in general for you if you're going to come out and enjoy the lake. Because look at this. This is so absolutely perfectly gorgeous. You ever wonder why you want to live in Columbia and live in the Midlands? Just take a look at this beautiful Monday morning, live celebrating Memorial Day with Good Day Columbia. Freddie, we've been enjoying the morning here. South Carolina DNR, Lieutenant Simmons, Ken Simmons here, and just learning all about the proper equipment for boats, how to behave when you actually come up and you have a safety check done by DNR or by any Marine Patrol. You got Lexington County out here, Richland County as well. But also, it's always pesky, man. You're coming in, you're cruising, having a good time, and all of a sudden no wake zone. You're like, oh, bummer. Why is there no wake zone? Why can't I just go through here? Well,
most of the wake zones that you see around here, they're set up around public marinas such as this marina here, gas docks, and it's more of a courtesy. Nobody wants to be trying to load and unload a boat or be at a boat ramp and you're trying to launch and a big boat wake comes through and
Sure.
knocks your boat off the trailer, and or you're trying to fuel your boat up and the wakes cause fuel to spill into the lake.
So that's safety, so you got environmental issues as well. What are the rules for no wake zones? You know, if you're going by a private dock, like somebody's house, is there like a distance you should keep
There
away?
is at 50 feet. As long as you are within 50 feet of that dock, any dock, you need to be at idle speed.
Right,
and that also applies to any anchored boats as well.
So if you're out in the middle of the lake, somebody's anchored, you got to go around them in courtesy.
That's correct. An anchored boat, a person in the water, a dock. If you're within 50 feet, your boat needs to be at idle speed.
What about approaching? You're approaching two boats coming along here. Do you kind of like treat it like a car? You both got to stay on your right side?
The general rules of the road are you pass to the right.
Okay.
We'll come up on each other, but you know, a lot of times maybe another boat nearby, just always slow down. Just slow down and let them go by you.
What about overtaking? If you're cruising along and you happen to be in the same place and you're cruising along and they're just easing, is there a rule as to what side you should overtake them from behind?
Well, you can go to either side, but the safe thing is to make sure there's nothing coming from you, coming towards you, or anything to your left or right once you go around them.
And just go around and continue on your way.
And also, it's good to know that two boats coming in an angle, the boat to the right always has the right of way. So if you're coming you've got to stop and let him go by.
All right, so the boat to the right always got that. So you're coming almost like a four-way intersection in your car.
That's why the red and green lights on the front of the boat, a lot of people don't realize that at night, if the boat to your right, you'll be seeing his red light. So you've got to stop.
Red, got that?
You stop because you see a red light, just like on the highway, the stoplight. You stop and you let him go by. If he's coming from your left, you'll see the green light. You've got the right of way.
Green is go, right? See, I learned something right here. The more you know, everybody. What did we learn today? About lights on a boat, the reason why. Guys, be safe. It is a gorgeous morning here out on Lake Murray. Be safe. Enjoy Memorial Day. Thank you for all the heroes that have given the ultimate sacrifice to keep us safe, so some guys can come out here on a boat and enjoy Lake Murray in its fullest extent. So thank you very much to those heroes. But guys, you can come out on the lake, enjoy it, love it. It is so gorgeous out here, but just do it safely. Otherwise, these guys will come have a conversation with you. It's no fun. He's mean. He's mean.
No, he's not. No.
Guys, stay with us. There's still more Good Day Columbia on the way. Friendy, back to you. All right, guys, it's been a fun morning out here on Lake Murray, middle of Lake Murray. I want to thank South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, of course, Lieutenant Ken Simmons for taking us out, giving us a tour, getting the 411 on boating safety, what you got to have. We'll put links for you at watch.com as well. Tomorrow, we're going to be out again, hitting the dusty trail, taking a trail ride on some real live horses. Yeah, easy, big fella. We're doing that tomorrow out in Casey. You know, you can take some horses out there. I'll show you where that is and all the fun we can have. But for us here, happy Memorial Day. Thanks again to the heroes who have given everything in service for this great, great country.